The detention center on Vex Prime hummed with the usual cacophony of 1,000 alien species, each one awaiting trial, deportation, or worse. In the dimly lit holding cell of Block 7, Deborah sat cross-legged on the cold metal floor, his human frame looking oddly fragile among the hulking Craxian guards outside. His clothes were torn, his face bruised, but his eyes held that peculiar human stubbornness that made other species uncomfortable. 3 cycles ago, he had been a cargo pilot making routine runs between the outer colonies. Now he was a criminal, charged with violating Galactic Commerce Law 4471. B. Unauthorized interference with sanctioned trade operations. The fact that those sanctioned operations involved slave trafficking seemed irrelevant to the Galactic Council. Deborah didn't regret what he'd done. When he'd stumbled upon that transport ship in the Kepler Belt, loaded with Velnari children bound for the pleasure dens of Xiphon 9, his choice had been simple. He'd disabled the ship, freed the captives, and called for help. The Velnari people had celebrated him as a hero. The council had branded him a terrorist. Human, a guard's translator crackled outside his cell. You have a visitor. Deborah looked up, surprised. He'd been told that no one was coming, that Earth had disavowed his actions to maintain diplomatic relations. The force field flickered off, and a small figure stepped through. She was Velnari, barely 4 feet tall, with opalescent skin that shimmered in the low light. Her name was Timothy, and she was the daughter of the Velnari High Chancellor. Deborah recognized her immediately. She had been among the children he'd freed. You shouldn't be here, Deborah said quietly, standing up. If they catch you visiting me, then they'll learn what gratitude means. Timothy interrupted, her voice carrying a musical quality that the translator couldn't quite capture. My father wanted me to give you this. She held out a small data chip. It's a legal brief. The finest advocates in 3 sectors. He's fighting for your release. Deborah took the chip, his throat tight. Thank you. Tell him I'd do it again. Timothy's large eyes glistened. We know. That's why we're not the only ones fighting for you. Before Deborah could ask what she meant, alarms shrieked through the facility. The lights shifted to red, and the building shuddered. Timothy's escort, 2 Velnari guards, burst into the cell area, their expressions urgent. We need to leave. Now. What's happening? Deborah demanded. Timothy turned back, and for the first time, Deborah saw something in her expression that might have been awe or fear. Earth found out where you were. In the command center 3 levels above, Station Commander Vrex watched his tactical display with growing horror. 12 human warships had just dropped out of FTL at the system's edge. Not patrol vessels. Not merchant marines. These were Earth's united fleet. The ships humanity had built after first contact. The ones the Council had smugly dismissed as primitive. This is Commander Sarah Chun of the UES Indomitable to Vex Prime Station. A voice crackled over the comm. You are holding a human citizen against galactic law. Release Deborah Martinez immediately, or we will consider this an act of war. Vrex's 4 eyes widened. This is insane. 1 human? They're risking interstellar war over 1 human. His second-in-command, a Thorian with experience in xenopsychology, made a clicking sound that indicated anxiety. Commander, you don't understand humans. They have a saying, no one left behind. It's not just a military doctrine, it's a fundamental part of their psychology. They'll burn the galaxy down for one of their own. That's barbaric. That's humanity. Vrex pulled up the treaty database, his claws trembling as he scrolled through the fine print. Surely there was some legal precedent. His blood ran cold when he found it. Buried in Article 47 of the Sentient Rights Convention, a section no one had bothered to read in centuries, was a clause about unlawful detention of sapient beings who'd committed no crime under their home world's laws. Earth had built its entire legal system around individual rights. What Deborah had done, freeing slaves, wasn't just legal under human law. It was considered morally imperative. Sir, his tactical officer interrupted, the human ships are charging weapons. And the officer's voice faltered. Sir, we're receiving 73 diplomatic communiques. The Velnari Confederacy has sided with Earth. So have the Altarian Coalition, the Free Miners of Deneb, and Commander, half the minor species in the sector are backing the humans. Vrex stared at the display. In 3 cycles, this human had done what no council member had achieved in centuries. He'd made other species believe someone actually cared about them. Release the human, Vrex ordered quietly. Release him now. 2 hours later, Deborah stood on the landing pad, still in his torn clothes, blinking in the harsh light of Vex Prime's triple suns. Before him, a human shuttle had landed, its ramp extended. Standing at the bottom was Commander Chen herself, flanked by 2 Marines. "Mr. Martinez," she said formally, then smiled. "Welcome home." Deborah walked forward, his legs unsteady. Behind him, he heard Timothy's voice calling out, "Thank you. Thank you for showing us what honor means." As the shuttle lifted off, Deborah looked down at the station. Gathered on the landing pads were hundreds of aliens, Velnari, Thorians, Altarians, and dozens of species he didn't recognize. They were watching, witnessing. Commander Chen sat beside him. "You caused quite the diplomatic incident, Martinez. I freed some kids." "You did." She handed him a data pad. "You also changed something. 17 species have petitioned to join a new defense pact, with Earth at the center. They're calling it the Humanitarian Alliance." Deborah stared at the pad, watching footage of the standoff. Ships from a dozen worlds, standing alongside human vessels. "I just wanted to do the right thing." "That's what humans do," Chen said. And apparently, the galaxy was waiting for someone to show them it was possible. "The Council thought we were weak because we care about individuals. They just learned that's exactly what makes us dangerous." Through the viewport, the fleet assembled in formation, ready to jump to FTL. Deborah closed his eyes, exhausted but finally safe. Behind them, the galaxy was changing, one human at a time.